Hello. So we are live now. For the audience, can somebody leave a comment if you can hear me? Just checking whether this is working. Hear me? Just checking whether this is working. Okay, yeah, this works. Yep, I got a reply.
Hear me? Just checking whether this is working.
Okay, Philip, let's start now. So, welcome everybody. Thank you for your time to join us. My name is Lindy. I'm from Hobby Wallet, and with me is Philip from HOTCROSS. So, just before we start, I'd like to let you know that this is only a sharing session and it is not financial advice. So, please do your own research before investing in any token or project. So during this session, let me just run through with you the structure of it. First, we'll be doing a general introduction, and then Philip will give you a live demo on how to use HotCross, and then we will take some questions from Twitter. From the Twitter comments, we will be choosing 4 questions for Philip to answer. And from the live audience, we will choose 3 questions for Philip to answer. And then we will have audience participation. So, in order for you to join in the fun, please download Huobi Wallet mobile app from the App Store or the Play Store using your mobile phone and create a BSC address. Note that it has to be a BSC address for you to join our contest. So, while you get all that started, let's go back to Philip. Philip, how are you today?
I'm good. Hi, Lindy. Thank you for having me. Thank you to all the people who are here. Just. I always say this. I always say this. For anyone who's watching, is I'm very like a casual, laid back kind of guy. So you're not going to get super, you know, super. Suit and tie kind of person. I'm more of like a casual guy. So this will probably be a very relaxed session where I kind of talk a little bit about my thinking about why this is interesting and why we do it. So.
Okay, Philip, can you give us a general introduction about Hot Cross? Mainly how you got the idea of starting it and maybe run us through your journey thus far?
Yeah, I can do that. I'm going to go ahead and share part of my screen. It's not, it's, I think you guys can see this, right? I think my screen is now
Yep.
visible. Yeah, so really the way this started out, and there's two places really that matter, and something that we've been working super hard on over the last 2 months or so is just getting all of this documentation together, all of the main website together, blah 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 blah. So if you looked at this website like a month ago, it was just white. It was white. All it said was, "Hey, go to our application." And so, the way that we started was we back in late 2020. It had to be September 2020 or November 2020. September, October, November. Yeah, so October of 2020. Um, there started to be this whole multi-chain bridging, everyone trying to go from Ethereum over to Binance Smart Chain, but they were also starting to go over to Polygon more. They were also starting to talk a little bit about Avalanche. Now, obviously, one of the hot topics in DeFi is Lunaterra, um, all Solana as well. So you in 2020 and 2021, we realized as a company, oh, there's this kind of multi-chain, cross-chain. Now there's omni-chain, this narrative that's forming in the market about which chain is going to beat Ethereum. I think right now that's changed a bit to where the narrative is more, okay, a lot of chains are going to exist at the same time in the future. And so which of those are we going to work on? And which of those are we not going to work on? So the way that our team actually started out was, and Pavlos and I are the code leads. I mean, really just a quick note about all of the, all the people you see here. I really try my best to make sure that the company itself is very, very flat. There's definitely an internal hierarchy of who makes decisions, but in terms of how we represent ourselves publicly, we really try to just keep it as flat as possible so that everyone feels like they're able to build whatever they want to build. So Pavlos and I are co-leads. Pavlos is focused very heavily on a lot of the technical side. I'm focused very heavily on tech side, but also biz side, market side, blah, 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 blah. So this is kind of how we got started, was identifying the fact that really in the market, what's happening right now is this heavy focus on a lot of solutions that are not on Ethereum. And that's kind of how it started out. We started building out a ton of stuff on top of Binance Smart Chain. Now it's called BNB Smart Chain. And now we've kind of really started putting a lot of efforts and focus into Avalanche and Ethereum and Polygon and looking at a little some different things. So that's kind of the background of how all of this started. And it's one of the reasons why if anybody were to go to the primary website, really what they're going to see is what we call it is just an application playground, because there's consumer side facing applications like staking and pools and yield optimization, KYC for fun stuff that's compliant, token multi-senders, bridges, but also there's more of like a community side of it. And also there's a business side of it. So it's a little bit of everything at once. But at the same time, we try to keep it lighthearted and fun. So that's kind of how we got started. Everything that's in this sidebar here is just stuff that we thought, oh, people might want to use, and they started using it. So that's kind of how we started, and that's what we'll continue to do.
Okay, that's great. That was very good introduction. Thank you very much. So now let's do a deep dive into HOTCROSS with particular focus on HOTDOG. Now, I know that when you started, you had HOTCROSS token, and then shortly after, your team introduced HOTDOG token. Would you be able to run us through HOTDOG and HOTCROSS? Tell us the difference about it, and
Yes.
with focus on HOTDOG.
Okay. So by the way, if I could go back in time, I would never name this token HOTCROSS. And the reason is because Twitter does not allow you to make cash text with 8 characters. It's awful. So I would name it something else. But HOTCROSS itself is really at its most basic, the most basic character of what HOTCROSS is instant access into everything that we're building in this application layer. So for example, before we had Reflect token staking, we just had normal staking. So partners would come to us, like Frontier comes to us, they want to have a staking pool. And one of our conditions for staking pools is to say, we will do everything for you. Like we'll do the smart contract deployments, we'll do everything. So because we used to work in business to business a lot, we worked on a revenue model where we would take money to do services. Well, when HOTCROSS came to market, what we decided to do is say, instead of taking money from other companies in the ecosystem, well, why don't we just ask them to incentivize our own token holders for really fun things? For every project that wants to be hosted on Crosspool, well, we'll do all the work for you, but you need to make sure that part of our community can also stake our token. So So if someone is like, you know, this word yield mercenary, like they're only focused on yield. They really just love yield. They want yield, yield, yield. Like a lot of them are really just coming into the ecosystem because they're interested in a couple things. One is that they want to stake HOTCROSS, and they see that there's APR, and this is like any typical kind of setup to where they see pools for a token and they want to stake it, and it's awesome. There's other things like cross yield, which is awesome because what we do here is we say, okay, if you're delegating liquidity into ApeSwap, PancakeSwap, BuySwap, we're launching on Avalanche really, really soon here. So Trader Joe, if there's a farm and you have HOTCROSS and you want to delegate that, we'll probably take this token and then we'll also put that in cross pool so that you're able to get upside from that as well. And finally, one of the sort of upsides that people are able to get is, well, now this session's in Hot Dog, but some of the previous IHOs that we've done have been completely in HOTCROSS token itself. So it acts as sort of like an ecosystem currency. It acts as a way of being able to do a lot of interesting things inside of our ecosystem. So that's what HOTCROSS is, and that's the reason why there are so many holders of the asset, because it's the most basic, it's sort of the most basic, easiest access point into the ecosystem. Part of the reason why we have so many holders, part of the reason why we have so many transfers on an asset it launched out in May of 2021. So we've been working since 2020. We decided to go to market in 2021. This is the reason we have so many addresses on chain and so many transfers on chain. Just looking at Binance Smart Chain alone, not accounting for the other ones, is because it's the easiest way to do different things, right? Now, the idea of Hot Dog came about directly from one of our partners who's a really, really, really good partner, and their name is ApeSwap. And ApeSwap is an automated market maker. It's a DEX on Binance Smart Chain, and we saw that, oh, okay, they have this token called Banana, but they also have a token called Ginana. But there are some things about it that they do that are not super appropriate for what we're trying to do, right? So, for example, the entry tax on that token is high. What they do is burn off the treasury, blah, 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 blah. The reason why I wanted to create Hot Dog Token is because you cannot have pools on an ecosystem. You cannot have rewards in the form of HOTCROSS token exist forever without having some way of subsidizing that, or some way of basically pushing value back into your ecosystem to basically have an equilibrium. So you can't have HOTCROSS just being rewarded nonstop. It doesn't work. So what we decided was to say, okay, for people in the community who want to be a little bit more deeper integrated into what we're trying to do, we want to launch out Reflect token staking for them, which is really, really cool because then it introduces a little bit of game theory. And also what it does, and I'll show you this really quickly. Also what it does is that you'll see so this, by the way, does not include Reflect, because this address, this is a very special address. This is a deployer wallet. So the deployer wallet is not subject to these fees or these Reflect. It's subject to a 17% tax, of course, but you'll see what happens here is that when I swap in one HOTCROSS into Hot Dog, I get back 0.83 Hot Dog. So what happens to this other 0.17 here? Where does that go? That goes into a vault. We've never touched this from the time that it launched, and I doubt that we'll probably touch it for any time soon. This is the amount of HOTCROSS that has been taken back out of circulation because of all of the people that have swapped in to HotDog to use it inside of our ecosystem. So what we've been able to do essentially is to almost pull back in about $150,000. On a good day, it's around $1 million of sell pressure, pollution. You're basically taking back your token from the market by saying to someone, if you wish to take deeper participation in this ecosystem, you're going to have to pay for that. And a lot of people were like, nah, we don't want to do that. We're never going to do it. We're not going to do that. This is not going to work. And then the moment you introduce it, everyone does it. So it's really, really worked out. And my goal here now is just to make sure that we get like 10 million. I want 10 million. I really want 10 million HOTCROSS coming back into Treasury from people who have swapped into HotDog to use it for really cool things. And the last thing I'll say about HotDog that's interesting is if you take a look at so what is a reflect token? Like why is what is the relationship here between why would someone ever swap into HotDog token and just hold it? Like why would someone do that? The reason they would do that is because every single transfer that happens, every single transfer that happens on chain for HotDog, 3% of that just gets sent back to people holding the token. So you have a couple choices. You can either stake it because you want to make APR, or you can just hold it and never do anything with it. And you can see you have a lot of very, very large holders who just hold it. They don't really do much with it. They swapped in. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
HotDog is a reflection token in the sense that if I have HotDog, I'll just leave it in my wallet and I don't have to do anything. And every day I get some new HotDog.
Yes. So you see, so let me find a really good wallet here. Let me find a very good wallet. Hopefully there's a clean wallet. Okay, so let me show you something here. That's probably a very good example. No, I'm going to choose one more wallet. I think it's okay. So you see this I will show you what's so funny about this situation here. So you see here how the balance on this wallet, and this is not ours, this is not mine, this is another community member's. You see how the balance on their wallet's like 1.183 here, all right? And you see how when they first swapped in, that balance was like 1.153. If you were to take out all of this stuff, like if you were just to take out all of this type of stuff, probably what you would see is that the amount that they swapped in, if you just swap in one HotDog and you just hold it and you keep it in your wallet, however many transactions happen after that point in time of you swapping in, the balance on blockchain and the balance in your wallet is simply going to keep going up and up and up and up, because 3% of all of those transactions are coming back to you in proportion to how much you hold and versus other people. So this is kind of the way to think about it. Is all you have to do is swap in one token, one HotDog. And if you swap in one HotDog and you wait for about 2 or 3 days and you check it again, you're going to have more than one HotDog, because activity is happening on the token and it's just coming back into your balance. So that's the way a reflect token works. That's the way Safe Moon. Yeah, that's the way every single reflect token works. Reflect, I believe Reflect Finance. It's the way all of them work. Is you just hold it, and if other transfers are made on blockchain, your ledger balance is updated.
Okay, so according to this screen, I see the transactions are like 2 days ago, 4 days ago, 24 days ago, but transactions are happening every second, isn't it?
Well, it's not every second. It just depends on. So it also So okay, you'll see a total of transactions on Hot Dog have been about 10,000. Have been about 9,551. Now it depends. It depends on. It depends on what is happening to act as a catalyst for those transactions. So a reflect token is only successful if you're able to, one, have transactions on blockchain. Two, you're going to have some utility for it, like staking. That's interesting. Three, you're going to have a real use case for it that goes beyond just holding it. So that's why we integrated it tightly into our launchpad, saying, okay, you can also use the reflect token to participate in launchpads. So if you don't just want to hold the token, hot dog, you can also use that to enter into IHOs, we call them. It's an IDO. So you can also use it to enter into an IDO. So for example, if you were to look at this smart contract and see all of these transactions, a lot of that was hot dog. So a lot of it was a lot of transactions made on hot dog because these people were using it to go into another project. So the whole point here is that for every single transaction that happens on a blockchain with a reflect token, all of these, every event that we do with Hot Dog is probably just going to go back to the holder's wallet. So this is why people always have the question: should I hold or should I stake? What should I do? Do I hold it in my wallet or do I stake it? Like this is always the question that comes up, and it just depends. It depends on what people's strategy is.
Okay. So for today's participants, some of them are going to win some hot dog tokens. But how about people who are not winners? Like, I'm just from the general community and I want to start to earn reflections on my hot dog tokens. So how do I get my hands on these hot dog tokens? I understand it's not
Yeah.
in any exchange.
Okay. So, well, HOTCROSS itself is pretty. It's pretty easy to acquire now. Right now, if you go to, yeah, I mean, right now it depends on what type of user you are. So if you prefer decentralized exchanges, we've got liquidity on PancakeSwap, BuySwap, ApeSwap. So those are all fine. And if you prefer centralized exchanges, we've got Huobi Global, MXC, KuCoin, a lot of Bittrex. So a lot of these, very well established exchanges. So you can either get the token off of a centralized exchange, or you can get it off of a decentralized exchange. So for example, if you were just to click on PancakeSwap, yeah, you could obviously, you get these warnings, of course, like, hey, hey, you like like this token may or may not be safe. But the funny thing is here, by the way, the funny thing here is that HOTCROSS itself was a PancakeSwap IFO. So our token itself was an IFO a very long time ago. So we have a kind of a fun relationship with PancakeSwap. So you can go to PancakeSwap. Our super partner now, I would really consider them a super partner, is ApeSwap. But if you're in a wallet and you have BNB, the easiest way to get HOTCROSS right now would probably just be to go to any staking pool, and you see how here it says buy HOTCROSS. All you need to do is click on it, and it's going to just send you exactly over to the automated market maker that you need to use in order to get the token. So it's just done. After you have it, after you have that, the only way that you can get Hot Dog, there's two ways to get it. One way is some random community members started a liquidity pool on PancakeSwap. That's not good though, because the rate always fluctuates. So the only way that you should really ever be thinking about getting Hot Dog is directly through the application. So all you have to do, let's say you have one, right? So you just have, it kind of sucks because the wallet that I'm using is the deployer wallet as an example. So what you see on your end when you swap in one, it's going to be a little different, but the math is all the same. All you would do is say, okay, here's my balance of HOTCROSS. I want it to become hot dog. So you would click confirm. Well, first you would need to approve the contract, obviously. But once you hit confirm, that's all you do, and you'll see down here, if you're paying attention, this 2383, you'll see that it just went up to 2384. So now you have 0.83 approximately more hot dog than you did when you began. Now, what that looks like on blockchain is your transaction will look similar to this. You will see your hot dog, 17% of it was taken, 70% of your HOTCROSS was returned back to Treasury so that we can use it in staking pools. 17% of that was returned to you, and then 3% of that transaction was distributed out to everyone else who was holding hot dog. So the best way that we can illustrate this is if you go to docs.hotcross.com and you just scroll down and you click HOTCROSS token. The way that it works is like this. Imagine you have 100 HOTCROSS. You swap that into hot dog. That's going to end up being about 80.51 hot dog. So that's how much you have in your wallet. If you just hold that forever and ever and ever and ever, you're going to end up with more than 100 hot dog at the end of the day. So the amount of HOTCROSS that you swapped in is basically the amount of hot dog that you're going to have over time, assuming that hot dog is still in use. So let's assume that you swap out 100 hot dog back into HOTCROSS. Well, you're going to get 97 back. Why is that? Because there's a 3% reflect fee, right? So let's say that you're starting and you're just swapping out, swapping in, boom, 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 done, done, done. It's the math you're looking at is 100 HOTCROSS would turn to 80.51, would turn back to 78.09 HOTCROSS, which is the reason why you do not want to be swapping in and out of HOTCROSS and hot dog so much. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. It's not a good strategy.
Okay, so this is incentivizing the user to just hold onto hot dog forever and not do anything with it.
Well, no, because the yes and no. So if you're super, by the way, a thunderstorm just started. So if you hear it super loud, I'm sorry. So a super, if you're very lazy, like, and I mean, I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean like if you're just, there are different types of DeFi users, right? One
Yeah,
type is, you say that again?
I'm lazy.
Okay.
And I want to gas fees, okay?
Yeah, yes. So, okay, if you don't want to do anything, like if all you want to do is just swap in, leave it, just okay, done. Then all you have to do is swap it in and you're finished. You're done. You don't do anything. You just leave it, right? For our more active community members, for the people who are constantly trying to think, there's two types of users. One is like, I just want to swap it in, I just want to hold it, and I just want to see what happens. The other type of user says, okay, now that I have this, how can I use it? There's two ways that people can, well, there's three ways really that people could use it. One was a mint drop that we just did that we finished in December. So we had this NFT collection, and the only way that you were able to acquire these NFTs was through hot dog. So that was one way. So anyone who basically swapped into hot dog super early, oh, they got like a massive amount of reflect. They got like a lot of reflect because you had like over 8,000 people, or I'm sorry, you had over like 3,000 people sending hot dog in to buy these NFTs, right? Another way is if you like to participate in launch pads and IDOs. So we'll have these things like hot dog cap sessions to where you send in hot dog, into a smart contract. So for example, here you'll see there's 2 hot dog sessions, right? So in this session, there was $3 million worth of hot dog being sent. There was $624,000 of hot dog being sent. And so in total, I think there were like 10 million or 11 million hot dog were transacted at one time, right? So if you're, I love Numi, by the way. So if you're looking at 11 million, none of this, by the way, is financial advice. My God, please, 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 please don't, please. So if you're looking just at that event, this is the amount that was you would have to basically. So basically, in a single event, this probably took like a couple hours. In a single event, you had about $71,000 worth of reflect being sent out to other hot dog holders. Why? Because this is how much hot dog was being used during the IDO. It's the same thing that's starting to happen we see now with Crosspool too. So you'll see here how there's a V2 and there's no V2 on here. This is because we just launched out a new version of staking which supports Reflect token. So you'll see here right now, the APR on this pool is 245%. So, and there's 4 million hot dogs staked in here, or 4.4 million hot dogs staked in here. So if I click into here, it's like $842,000. So what you would have to, and what is the reward? The reward is that if you stake hot dog, so for example, let's say I have 1 hot dog, yeah. So I'm going to approve it. Okay, I've got to show you this because it's really, really cool. So here's something else that contributes to Reflect. This is not going to apply to this wallet because it's a deployer wallet. But let's say you have 1 hot dog and you want to stake it into a pool. The first step, of course, to staking into any smart contract is you need to approve it. You always have to do very smart approvals. Next is you want to stake. So the moment that I begin staking, I should probably stake more to show you that it's updating in real time. You see here how it says 1 hot dog has been staked. For a normal user, that's not going to be the case. What you're going to see is 0.97 hot dog have been staked. Let me stake a little bit more, actually all of it, and then I'll take it out so people don't get so angry. Like the company should not be like staking its own like token, So, okay, so you see here, there's hot dog staked. What that means is that on this right side here is that if you wait like 5 minutes or 10 minutes or something like this, you're going to start seeing this stuff tally up. It's like, okay, this is how much hot dog you've earned. This is how much HOTCROSS you've earned. Blah, 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 blah. These rewards, they accumulate linearly. So every single block that's processed on Binance Smart Chain, you can see now it's only been a few seconds and I've got not only hot dog rewards, but I have HOTCROSS rewards. So you'll see another thing here, right? So there's a protocol fee and there's an early unstake fee. So if I click unstake right now, you'll see that I cannot unstake. I cannot unstake this amount. I cannot unstake until 7 days, right? So this is another thing that's like a mechanism, right? So if you want to stake, you have to be committed. I've really got to explain to the community why I just put in $4,000 of tokens into a staking pool. So,
Well, Philip, you have found a solution to my laziness. Now I've decided that I want to stake instead of just holding it in my wallet.
Well, see, staking is really good. Like it's really interesting. It's really fun, right? It's
Okay,
great.
you see, these numbers they change every few seconds, but I'm not able to take them out until the end of the staking period. Is that correct?
Well, okay, so it depends on how I decide to, or we decide to deploy the smart contract. So you see here how there's like a, you see, so I can claim these rewards now. So the rewards are claimable anytime. It's just the amount that you deposited that's locked. Why is that? It's because we don't want people coming in, like just coming in, taking as much as they possibly can and leaving immediately. It's like, okay, if you want to stake, you need to stake. But the rewards are going to continue to, so now you see how it went back to 0. So if I refresh, well, there's just more.
That's great. So
So
I can just claim it every second and I can compound it on my own.
yes, you can compound it on your own. So what you see here, how now I have Hot Dog in my wallet, and you see here how I've just claimed not only Hot Dog, but I've also claimed HOTCROSS.
I
So
see.
if I stake again, if I want to stake again, you'll see a warning. Hey, heads up, if you stake again, that timer is going to reset. So are you okay with that resetting to 7 days? I'm probably just going to say yes because the pool ends in 9 days. Okay, fine, no problem. So every time somebody does this, every time they keep doing this, 3% of that amount just keeps going back to other holders. So this is why people have to make a decision. Do they want to be hot dog holders or do they want to be hot dog stakers? And a lot of that depends on the APR. A lot of it really depends on the APR, you know.
Does this APR change? I've noticed that each time I see it's a different number.
Yes. So the APR changes based on the number of hot dog that are staked into the pool. So it's like a pie, right? Like these are all these are all the rewards. And so the more that's staked in, the APR is going to go down. The less that's staked in, the APR is going to go really high. We can set a cap on that though. Like we can basically lock, or we can put a limit to how much people are able to stake during the first 2 or 3 days or something like that. So that's something that's very important. So here, you see here, right? Do you see this? I think you can see a code editor. I'm not
Yeah,
going to
this
talk about codes. Yes. So what you see, yeah. So I'm not going to talk about code so much. I swear. I promise. But what you see here basically is that what I've done is said, okay, this is the smart contract of Hot Dog. This is the amount of share that the Hot Dog stakers get, 75%. This is how much they are only able to stake during the first 2 days. And then after 2 days, they're able to basically stake more, right? So I can change that. I can change that to 12 days. I can change it to 24 days. It just doesn't matter. So this is all configurable in smart contracts. And then what happens is, of course, this gets piped out into this readable, data that we can pull into our application. So that's kind of how it works. So one thing I will tell you that's relevant to the discussion is, okay, so should I stake or should I hold? Like, should you just stake something or should you hold it? One, I can't answer that. It's impossible to know because I don't know what every single person who's holding Hot Dog is going to do, right? But what I can do is say, okay, if I have a million Hot Dog, okay, and the APR on that is 245.78. So that's going to be, at the end of 1 year, if this were constant and not changing, I could expect this number to be quite high, right? Well, the pool is, we have to account for. So the number of rewards that someone would have gotten over 12 months is this amount of Hot Dog in a month, right? So really, if you're thinking about it, what did I really get if I staked a million Hot Dog for that month? It's 12%. Like any of you people watching this now or recorded, always understand that APR is it's an annual calculation. So whenever you want to stake something, you always want to extrapolate what is the monthly basis of that, or what is the daily basis of that, because that also matters, right? That also matters. Lindy, how many days are in a year? 365.
6-5.
Okay. Oh my gosh, my brain is like, it's,
Yeah, you're coding
okay.
to that's why.
Yes. So if I have a million staked at 245% APR, every single day I could expect to get 4 million. I'm sorry, 4,000 hot dog based on rewards. Hot dog and hot cross based on rewards, which means that the percentage of that is 0.4% every single day. So your decision would be you would have to make a decision. If I stake into a pool that is giving me 0.4% every day, is that going to be better than receiving 3% of every transaction proportional to my holdings on blockchain of this asset? Which is why there's no perfect answer. There's no perfect answer because this 3% is for everyone. It's not just for you. Like, this is for everyone who's holding hot dog. But you know for a fact that this 0.4% is for you. So what would you do in that situation? Like, how would you make that decision? It just depends, really. It just really depends on how you are trying to play it out and how you're trying to basically wait and see what happens. So, um,
Okay, I have a
it,
question. I see
yeah,
here that staking period is 14 days. And
yes.
as of now, we have about, say, 7 to 8 days, right? That means it ends on the 31st of March. So what's going to happen? Does it mean that I can't stake anymore in April?
Oh no, it just means that I make a new pool.
You
It
will
just
definitely make a new pool for us to stake.
yes. So it means that the reason why we like to do pools like 14 to 28 days or 28 to 45 days is because we have got to understand what people are doing. So we want to see, like, does this configuration work? Does are people staking into this pool? And if they're not staking into it, what is the reason? If they are staking into it, what is the reason? And so this is part of the reasons why we like to have these very short periods when something launches. And then you'll see with these other pools, for example, like Uno or Ranker, you'll see these periods are for like 60 days, 38 days. So it always starts out a little bit quick, where anyone who comes in to test it gets a very, very, very high amount of benefit because they're the testers. Like, they're the people who are basically helping us decide on how we want to do things. And anyone who comes in late, yeah, they're not gonna be able to get as much advantage. So that's how we kind of look at things. But yeah, we will always there will never not be a pool for hot dog or hot cross or something like that. Like, there will always be some pool that's running for that.
Okay, that's great. That makes me very happy. Okay, now it's time for our audience participation. Since we have all seen the benefits of hot cross and hot dog, and especially hot dog, 3 winners, starting from now, who buy hot dog tokens using the method that Philip has just taught us. You can buy any number of hot dog tokens, there is no minimum. Buy some hot dog tokens and send your transaction hash together with your email address in the comments, and 3 lucky winners will win 500 hot dog tokens each. And while we wait for the audience to do their user tasks, let's take some questions from Twitter. So Philip has chosen 4 questions from the Twitter comments. Let's take the first one now. What is the first thing you would like people to think of when hot cross is mentioned to them?
Safe. I want people to think safe. And the reason is because DeFi right now is full of rug pull scams. It's not safe. It sucks. Every time you deposit something into a smart contract, it's like really scary, right? And so I think one of the biggest things that we've tried to do is if you were to click over to our audits repository, we've done around 80 audits on our platform over the last 12 months. So every single piece of code that we deploy out has been audited by Certic, Bielsen, Slomis, Zokyo, PeckShield, Omnicia. So we've had 6 of the industry leading auditors really go over our code, and we never, ever, ever, we never deploy out something that has not been reviewed by at least 2 auditors. We just don't do it. And so the first thing I want people to always feel whenever they come to HOTCROSS is to think, oh, this is like super safe. Like this is the, if someone feels like something's not safe, they're not going to use it. So this is very, very big to us. And it's the reason even why Hot Dog, we got audited 3 times. So Hot Dog has been audited 3 times, that entire system. So that makes us very, very comfortable talking about it, which is very important for us.
I see. By the way, have you unstaked your tokens?
No, because I'm locked into that 7-day stake.
Okay. Because people are joining and you are earning from their transactions.
No, oh, there's another one thing I forgot to tell you, that you cannot have both, right? So if you stake into this smart contract, so the smart contract itself does not earn reflect. So you have to make a decision. Either 1, stake, or 2, you don't. Either 1, you stake, or 2, you get reflect. But the thing about the deployer wallet is that 1, I do not get any reflect from anybody, and 2, I don't give any reflect. So I don't get any. So the deployer itself is kind of like a magical wallet where you can't. We'll put these back into the staking pool. It's all fine. Don't worry.
Okay, next question. Next question. What is the story behind Hot Dog, and does it take part in the inflation dealing strategy?
Yeah, so I went over all that already. That really, the too long didn't read. The very important part here is that we really want to keep running pools, but I don't want to kill HOTCROSS token just because you have this massive hyperinflation. And so Hot Dog is a way of, 1, dealing with hyperinflation on assets that are typically farmed out. And 2, it's also a really fun way of introducing something else into the community to reward people who are a little bit longer term thinking about the asset. So yeah, it's a little bit of fun. It's a bit of community. It's a bit of gamification. It's just kind of adding an additional layer to HOTCROSS. So the thing again, if I didn't mention already, is Hot Dog there's no market for this. So HOTCROSS is the token on every major market. Hot Dog is kind of the ecosystem. It's like your level up. It's like you're leveling up into playing more. So.
Did you create Hot Dog with the main focus of addressing this issue of inflation?
Say that again.
Did you create Hot Dog with the main purpose of addressing the inflation issue?
The primary purpose and the reason why Hot Dog was created was a couple reasons. One was because eventually and really soon here, we are going to need to look into mechanisms around the ecosystem. We cannot always be the people who decide what are the rewards going to be, what are the APR going to be. I don't want that responsibility. I want that going into more of like a community side decision-making process. The other is that my thought process was, well, if we are going to bring people premier projects that are launching out on tier 1 exchanges or really, really, really good decentralized exchanges, well, shouldn't the people who are holding the token that is kind of the level up be more rewarded than people who were just coming and going very quickly. And the other reason was, oh, this whole reflect game. It became a conversation in the community where the community was constantly trying to figure out what is the most optimal strategy for dealing with this. And it's a really fun conversation to have. And then finally, of course, is that deflationary mechanism, which is very, very important. And so it was a mix of a lot of things, but I would say deflation was not it was not the only consideration. Yeah.
Okay, sure. Next question now. What is the reason you are too selective in choosing people to enter your community and participate? Will there be additional selections in the future? Are you very selective? I didn't know that.
No, no, no. No. Well, oh, wait a second. Wait a second. Does he? Wait a minute. No, anybody can come into our community. Yeah, I think it's because we have a program called cadets. And so what we do is every month we'll pick like one or two community members who are awesome, and we'll give them a free NFT, and we'll give them $1,000. So every single month for we have about 20 cadets now. So every month, I mean if we see somebody in the community who's like really 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 cool, like contributing nonstop, oh yeah, we'll absolutely give them something because they're great. Like they're really cool. But in terms of who's allowed into our community, oh my gosh, like everybody. It's we love everyone.
Okay, that's very good to hear. Okay, so for now, for the last question that we got from Twitter, Hot Dog has a big role overall in your project. You mentioned that you have IHO. Can you please tell me more about this product IHO? I think you have
Yes.
covered this already. Maybe just a bit more details.
Yeah, so basically IHO is similar to, the IHO is very similar to um, IFO on PancakeSwap, IAO on ApeSwap. It's this concept of people being able to essentially swap in or swap out of their hot cross or hot dog or BUSD or BNB. Soon we're going to have one on Avalanche, so people will be able to use one in AVAX token, and hot cross on Avalanche C chain. It's a way to access public sales of new projects that we accelerate or launch out. And these are not hot cross projects, these are hot cross accelerations to where these teams want us to help them with everything: bridging, launching, KYC. It's all of this type of stuff. So this portion of our ecosystem is super, super, super important. It's you don't have to KYC to use HOTCROSS, but if you want to do launch pads, or if you want to do anything about token sales or anything like that, you really, really do need to kind of respect the fact that people do have like it's like a centralized exchange, right? Like you have to have rules. So we have this whole system where you can do KYC, you can participate in IHOs, and it's really worked out. And if anyone has any problems, all you do is you just say, okay, what's your name? What's your wallet? What's your problem? Boom. And we'll answer it very, very quickly. So it's a whole system, and it's really fantastic. And we love that we have that part of our ecosystem.
Okay, great. So now let's take 3 questions from the audience. You can see in the comments section.
Let me,
Can you
I'll
just-
have to, yeah, I'll have to probably stop sharing my screen so I can, okay, I can, I'm taking a look at the comments. Give me one moment. Okay. Okay. So here's one question. What are the future plans for partnership with Huobi? How long have you been collaborating? So this is actually, I think you can still hear me, right, Wendy?
Yeah, we can hear
Okay,
you.
so Huobi, our relationship with Heckle, not okay. So Huobi is so big in terms of ecosystem reach. There's Heckle Chain, which one of our products already supports it. It's called CrossSend. You can send or I'm sorry, it's called cross mint. So you can mint out NFTs on Heco Chain. So there's Heco Chain, there's Huobi Wallet, there's Huobi Global Exchange. So there's all these kinds of elements of partnerships that we're kind of forming day by day, and that has been fantastic. And I have to say, I mean, I swear to you, I'm not saying this just because I'm on right now, but the Lindy, you and Huobi Wallet have been amazing since the moment we connected. I mean, this has just been a really, really fun, very fun like exercise, and it's been great. And so we'll probably end up doing more together. I'm sure of it. I'm absolutely sure of it.
Of course.
Is your NFT available for buying? Oh, okay. So let me share this super quickly. Hold on 1 sec. Okay, so I suggest if you want to understand our NFT collection, we have a dedicated website for this dedicated collection. And the reason I'm laughing is just I love these biggies. Like, I love them. I love them. They're just so cool, man. They're so cool. And so
They are pigs.
yes, they're little piggies. And yeah, so we call them cross bosses, and it's like, you know, they're every community member who's like super kind of into what we do, they always pick what is their favorite one, and they'll just set it as their avatar, and it's awesome. And the reason it's also really cool is because this started out as a project where the only thing we wanted people to feel was funny. Like we just wanted to be people to feel happy. And so what ended up happening was that we have a fantastic partnership with Treasureland, NFT Trade, Tofu NFT, so Pancake Swap, Liquid Collectibles. So any of these marketplaces right now, you can go there now and pick up an NFT. And not only can you pick up an NFT, but you can also hop over to our NFT staking application and actually stake one of these NFTs in order to, so you see here where it says eligible NFTs, you'll see that we're giving out Hot Dog and WBNB to stakers. So I've staked one NFT, so I can, I forgot that I even staked it in here. Oh my goodness. So it's the same thing. It's just like staking a token, but you're staking an NFT. So it's got multiple use cases. Staking is one of them, and it's really, really, really awesome. And it'll tell you the same thing, like how much dollars per day can you get from staking these NFTs, which is super cool. So
can I claim it anytime as well, the same as my hot dog?
Can you do what?
Can I claim my rewards anytime I like?
Yes. So it depends on. So you see right here where it says rewards claimable in. So as long as that date has passed, so now the date has passed. So now if you stake in, your rewards just continue to accumulate. So you can claim them whenever you want to. It doesn't matter. Now, if you staked in before that day, then yeah, maybe you would have to wait a couple days. It just depends on how we decide to configure the pool. So it's super flexible. All of these things here we can change. We can change all of this stuff. Even in terms of the eligibility of whether or not you're able to stake into the pool. So if you have you see this really, really long list here.
Wow.
So I can choose, or we can choose, okay, which of these NFTs are going to be lucky enough to stake into this pool. So we've got a lot of really configurable configurations or things that we can do here. So cross bosses is also like one of our favorite things that we're working on now, because It's also part of the hot dog story, and it's also part of why we love it. It's because you can stake an NFT, you can get hot dog, then you can take the hot dog, take it over to Crosspool, stake it, and if you don't want to do that, you can participate in an IHO. So it all kind of works together.
I see.
Yeah. Okay. I think there's. Let me.
You can choose 2 more questions.
Yeah, 2 more. Okay. 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 Here's a good one. Many projects are deployed on multiple chains. For expanding to other public chains, how do you decide? What are the key features you'll consider? This is a really, really good question. And I believe that the biggest consideration right now must be user base. You have to have users that are going to use what you're doing, or you're just wasting money launching on a new blockchain. And this is something we're really trying to also kind of be very mindful about. BNB Smart Chain is losing users. Not a lot. I mean, there's still a whole lot of users on BNB Smart Chain, my goodness. But there's other blockchains that are coming that are very, very strong. Ethereum is gaining momentum again over the next 3 months, I can promise you. Avalanche is gaining momentum again, I can promise you. Terra Luna ecosystem is getting really, really fantastic and really interesting. So Solana as well has a really, really good community. So the biggest consideration that we look at is, what is the community like? If there's users and if there's people who are going to want to participate in what we're doing, we'll absolutely try our best to accommodate those blockchains. Not to mention Polygon. Polygon's always been amazing, fantastic. So there's so many good chains. I mean, I wish we had all the time in the world to do every single one, but we have to kind of be very smart about what we're focusing on too. And the last thing is, I think there's one more question.
Yep, you can choose one more.
Okay. As far as I can, okay, this question says, as far as I can see, hold on, wait.
This one?
Okay, yeah. As far as I can see, NFTs and BSC are the next trend of new projects. As I know, there are a lot of very good developments projects on the platform. I believe that the industry is only just beginning with NFTs. I think that a lot of people don't understand them at all. And I don't mean that in a mean way. I think that's good. I think that it means that there's so many opportunities for growth. There's so much opportunity for understanding, is an NFT a collectible? Is it an item inside of a game? Is it a piece of art? Is it a representation of ownership over a house? What is an NFT? Is it something that represents a liquidity position in Uniswap? I mean, there's so many different things that an NFT can represent, and it's not just a JPEG. It's not just a picture. There's a lot of data that's inside of a non-fungible token that is very, very, very important. It also represents value and access into certain communities. And so I think that irrespective of BSC, I think this is on every single chain. NFTs are probably just getting started, and I really do think over the next 1 or 2 years, you're going to see a lot of innovation happen, especially around the fact that NFTs are highly illiquid assets that people are trying to find ways of becoming more liquid. So I'm very interested and always very bullish on NFTs just as an industry, and so that's what we like for sure.
Okay, that was the last question. Now, my turn to ask a question. So, you first had HOTCROSS, and then because of the inflationary issue, you had hot dog. Now, how about, will there be a third token? Maybe hot sauce?
you, 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 you know what? I think I might have to make hot sauce. I think I might do that. Like,
Just for me?
Yes, I think why don't we make hot sauce? Oh my gosh, that's I'll think about some interesting mechanism that we can bake in, and we'll call it hot sauce.
It'll be our collaboration.
Yes, it'd be great. It'd be great.
Okay, okay. Anyway, guys, we have reached the end of our session for today. Let me emphasize again, this is just a sharing session and not any financial advice. So before you do any transaction or invest in any token or join any liquidity pool, please do your own research. So thank you all for your participation. Please like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more updates. Thank you.
Thank you so much.